Hello! This video is for those of you who never played guitar before, but would like to start today. Hello, my name is Itaiguara. I'm a professional musician living in New York City, and today it marks 40 years of my first guitar lesson, and I'd like to share this lesson with you. So when I signed up for the lesson, my teacher told me there were two options for me to choose from. One was to learn guitar chords like that, and sing and play guitar, accompany myself. And the second option was to be able to play melodies and chords on the guitar, for example, and I opted for this style because the teacher told me it would lead me to a deeper understanding of music. I went for that. And I'm glad I did, actually, because a couple of months later, I had classmates that started around the same time as me. They were playing guitar chords, and when I went over their notebooks, I realized I was able to play their songs. And they weren't able to play what I was playing at the time. So it took me longer to play the first song or so, but it was worth the wait. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with learning guitar by chords. It's actually a faster way for you to start singing songs and accompanying yourself right away. It's great, but if you want to go a little deeper and do that and also play other stuff on the guitar, you can start from the beginning on that second path. So I want to share what I learned in that first steps of that second path. So I grew up in Brazil, and the guitar that is most popular there is the nylon string classical guitar, right? And in the first lesson, the teacher asked me to put the guitar resting on the left leg, right? Like that. And this is the classical position, the position that Segovia and John Williams and the classical musicians on the guitar play. They say there's more easy access to this area here of the guitar, and there's a more balanced position of the left hand. However, most popular musicians play the guitar on the right leg if they're right-handed, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, in fact, most accomplished guitar players of all time, like people like Paco de Lucia, they all play on the right leg, and there's no technical limitation whatsoever. So you pick whatever leg you feel more comfortable to rest the guitar on, and you take it from there. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce you to the parts of the guitar, the names of the parts of the guitar. This is the top, this is the body, this whole wooden box, here's the body. This is the saddle, which is glued to the top. This white part here is the bridge. This is the sound hole. This part is the neck. This is the headstock. And these are the tuning pegs. See, the strings are held here, and there's a little machine that regulates the tension of the guitar strings. These are the frets. Vertical lines here, fret 1, fret 2, fret 3, fret 4, etc. The 6 strings, they are numbered from the bottom one to the top one. So first string, second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, sixth string. The first thing we do before playing, before doing any exercise, is to tune the guitar. And the names of the pitches are letters of the alphabet. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The standard tuning of the guitar will be on the 6th string, you're gonna have an E. 5th string, you're gonna have a A. fourth string a D, third string G, second string B as in boy, first string E. And to tune the guitar to those pitches, you can do it many ways. You can have an app on your phone that tells you the note that you're playing. You can use some of those electronic tuners that you put on the guitar somewhere, and you're gonna capture the vibration and read the note and tell you. You can have those that can also hear, but you can also tune by ear. And this is the best approach for the beginner. So you can get used to start developing your ears right away. To tune it by ear, you're gonna need a reference note that you hear it and try to match it by moving the tuning pegs on your guitar. In the old days, a reference note usually was given by a tuning fork. It was a little metallic fork that you used to hit against the surface, place it in your ear, and that will give you like an A or F depending on the fork, and then you try to match it on your guitar. Another way to get a reference note is, for example, coming to this video and listening to this note. This is an E that is in tune. So if you match your guitar, your sixth string of your guitar to this, you're gonna be in tune. Another option is you have a friend, his or her guitar is in tune, you ask for them to give you a note and then you just try to match it by ear. Or if you have a piano, so if you have access to a piano that is 88 keys, full size, on the left side of the piano, this is A, B, C, D, E. So this is E1, the first E of the piano, right? So you have those two black keys. This first white key here is E. The situation happens again here, and so that's the other E. So that's E2, and that's the same note on your guitar. So you can also do this way. So let's have an example. Let's say your guitar is completely out of tune, and let's see what is the process of tuning it. When you turn the tuning peg clockwise, you ease the tension on the string and it gets a lower tone. And when you move it counterclockwise, the tension goes up and the pitch goes up. But be careful not to go too high because the string could break. Let's say your guitar is completely out of tune, like this. How to tune it? First, you get your reference note and try to match its sound on the sixth string. You see that this note is much lower than the reference. So you want to raise the tension by moving this way. Until you find it. Okay, now that string tuned, all you need to do is to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets. That fifth fret, the sixth string pressed on the fifth fret, is going to be the note A, which is the fifth string. See, notice that the fifth string is higher than it should be. It should sound like that, but it sounds like this. So what you do, you release the tension a little bit. You go to the tuning peg that corresponds to that string, which is this one usually, the second tuning peg on the top, and you lower its tension until you find. Now that the fifth string is in tune, you go again to the fifth fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and try to match the fourth string to this sound of the fifth string. See, the fourth string now is too low. So we need to raise its tension until it goes to. Okay, now when the fourth string is in tune, you go again on the 5th fret, and that note should be the same as the 3rd string open. It was too high. And now there's an exception. On the 3rd string, in order to tune the 2nd string, you have to press on the 4th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. That note should be the note on the 2nd string. So, oh, see, it's too low, the 2nd string. You have to raise the tension. Finally, to tune the 1st string, you go back to the 5th fret and you press the 2nd string on the 5th fret, and that sound should be the sound of the 1st string. Oh, it's too low. Then you go back, let's see if it's. Okay, now it's in tune. We're gonna go one hand at a time. We're gonna start with the right hand. The very first concept about the right hand is relax. No tension whatsoever, anywhere. You just rest this part of the arm somewhere here, whatever makes you feel comfortable, and your hand is going to be floating slightly above the strings. You can play here, play here, play here. All of them are going to have a different sound. We don't have to worry about that right now. But what's important is that it's very relaxed and the hand is in a natural position. It could be straight. If you're very relaxed, it's okay if it bends a little bit, as long as you're totally relaxed. The first exercise starts with the thumb, which is a finger that is easier to control. You're going to play twice on each string, remembering the name of that string. E, E, A, D, D, G, G, B, B, E, E, and then go back up. B, B, G, G, D, D, A, E, E. And there are two ways of doing that. One, you're resting the thumb on the adjacent string. And the other way, you don't rest it. You just leave the thumb in the air after playing it. And you do the whole exercise in both ways. And when you do the exercise, after a while, try not to look at the right hand, because you're going to be looking mostly at the left hand, which has many more places to go. You're going to be looking at the music, you're going to be looking at your fellow musicians or the audience. So after a while, you do it without looking, right, to the right hand. Like. And more important than doing fast is doing with the constant tempo, we call it. So it's better to do constant than doing too fast and then too fast and then. So you should pick one tempo that is comfortable for you and just keep it. so on. The next exercise, use those two fingers, the index and the middle. You're gonna play 4 notes on each string at a time. And the idea is to alternate them, always alternate them. You're gonna do resting in the adjacent string and not resting. So the exercise would be like that. E, 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 A, D, 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 G, 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 B, B, D, D, E, 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 E. Back up. And then you do without resting your finger in the adjacent string. And finally, the last exercise for the right hand will be to use those 4 fingers here, the thumb, the index, middle, and the ring finger. You're going to place your hand in such a way that the index, middle, and ring will be very close to the 3 bottom strings, strings 1, 2, 3. So you're going to play the thumb first on the 6th string, and then on the 3rd string the index, on the 2nd string the middle, and on the 1st string the ring finger. And let's play the thumb on the 5th string, same thing for those remaining fingers, and the thumb on the 4th string, same thing for the remaining fingers, and then you go back. So you look like that. We're gonna go thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. The mistake you should avoid on the right hand is to let it go too far from this initial position. Because if you go too far, you waste a lot of time going back. If you want to play like this, you can do, you're going to waste time. Another problem, letting the hand too far from the strings, you're going to be less precise when you come back. You need to find it again, your original position, and you might be not as precise. The left hand, same thing. Very relaxed, no tension in any of the fingers, no tension here, no tension whatsoever. On the guitar we use numbers to refer to the fingers on the left hand. So the index is number 1, the middle finger is number 2, the ring finger is number 3, and the pinky is number 4. Now we're going to press the 6th string on the 1st fret with the 1st finger. This is the note F. Notice that I'm pressing very close to the fret. I could have pressed here, which is the same note, because the string is ringing from the fret all the way to the bridge. If I press close to the fret, I don't need as much effort. If I press in the middle of the space here, I'm gonna need a lot more strength on the finger, otherwise it's gonna sound like this. Buzz. And the finger has a natural curve to it, see? And it's not like this. This note on the 6th string, 1st fret, is F. And now we go with the finger number 3 to the 3rd fret on the 6th string, and that's the note G. So now we have E as the open string, F on the 1st fret, G on the 3rd fret, E, F, G. And the point now is for us to memorize those 3 notes. One exercise will be to do E, F, G, F, E, F, G, F, E. And then let's move around the notes. E, G, F, G, E, G, F, G, E. Let's add both options. A, F, G, F, E, G, F, G, E. The idea here is for you to coordinate those 2 hands. You can play with the thumb on this one. You coordinate both hands and you're memorizing the names of the notes. So E, F, G, G, F, E. Once you have this exercise down, you go to the next string. The 5th string is a note A. When you press on the 2nd fret is B. And when you press on the 3rd fret is C. So we're going to repeat the same exercise, same idea. A, B, C, B, A, B, C, B, A. And then A, C, B, C, A, C, B, C, A. And now both together. A, B, C, B, A, C, B, C, A. Now that you're used to those positions and the names of those notes, notice that we now know 6 notes so far. E, F, G, A, B, C. The 4th string, D, open string is D. When you press on the 2nd fret is E, 3rd fret is F. So D, E, F, E, D, F, E, F, D. So now you have 9 notes. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay? Once you're used to those notes, you go to the 3rd string, open G, 2nd fret, you have an A, and the 4th fret with a pinky, you have a B. G, A, B, A, G, B, A, B, G. The 2nd string open is B. When you press on the 1st fret, you have a C. When you press on the 3rd fret, you have a D. So B, C, D, C, D, D, C, D, B. Finally, the 1st string is E again. 1st fret is F. 3rd fret is G. E, F, G, F, E, G, F, G, E. So now we have what we call the natural scale on this whole region of the guitar. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You can play those exercises right after the other. And you can play with the thumb, but you can also play with those two fingers, index and middle, alternating them. A common mistake on the left hand is to lift your fingers and let them too far from the scale. So when you play this exercise, you want to have the fingers ready to play instead of like that. You don't want that. You lose speed and precision. And in case you're wondering, what note is in between F and G? For example, in the 2nd fret of the 6th string. This note, depending on the situation, is called F sharp or G flat. And we're going to go over that in the future. But for now, we're going to be using only the natural notes. Some people wonder, how is the sound of the guitar produced? The idea is that your body gives energy to the string that start moving between those 2 points in a certain frequency that is audible to the human ear. But just because a string is vibrating between 2 points, that doesn't mean it's going to be audible. For example, if I take a guitar string and attach it somewhere and try to play it, you're not going to hear it. But on the guitar, this vibration is transferred to the saddle that is glued to the top, which vibrates, and this vibration gets amplified by the body. And there are 3 factors that influence on the frequency with which the string vibrates, therefore the pitch you hear. These are the weight of the string, the length of the string, and the tension of the string. Regarding weight, you see that this string here is thicker than this string here. So the heavier the string, the lower the pitch. The length of the string is another factor. For example, when you play an open string, it's vibrating from the nut to the bridge. But when you press anywhere in the scale, the string starts vibrating from the point you are pressing on the fret all the way to the bridge. So when I do that, this note has a higher pitch than the open string, because now the string is vibrating from here to here, therefore it's a shorter length, shorter and shorter the distance, and therefore the pitch gets higher and higher. And finally, the tension with which the string is attached determines the pitch. For example, when I use the tension, the note goes lower, the pitch goes lower, and if I increase the tension, the pitch goes higher. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this first lesson, and if you have any suggestions, any comments, please let me know. If you have any questions, and if you liked, please share, and I see you next time.